I've spent some time talking. You've been through a lot. You feel like after these months you're getting your comfort zone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still at the place where it gets easier every week. There's market. The Olympic and Paralympic ecosystem is massive. If there's one big learning, it is really understanding and maybe the most humbling thing is the role the United States plays in the global sports landscape. And you really see that and feel it every single day in and around the Olympic and Paralympic movements. We have an obligation to really set the standard and set the stage. The world looks to us. And there are a lot of countries around the world where sport is still in its very, very early stages of development and sophistication. And they are watching what we do, and they are asking for guidance, and they are looking to us as leaders to say, how do we do this? And so, there's a very humbling obligation to drive that, not just from a commercial perspective, but from a development of sport as sport perspective as well.
What's been the hardest part? Because there's been criticism from some athletes. There's been a call for a total reorganization of the USOC.
No question.
Your leadership has been called into question at times.
Yep.
What's been the hardest?
Look, the hardest part is driving change at a pace where you know enough to make decisions, but you don't wait too long to make them. And recognizing that we unfortunately live in a world where people have an incredible ability and capacity to be, quite frankly, just ugly to each other. And so we all have to deal with that and recognize that there are oftentimes people don't stop and think about whether their expectations of you are fair or not fair. They just decide that this is what they want and they expect it today. And there's not a real conscious thought about is that reasonable or not reasonable. And that's a real challenge in my role in an organization that is reforming itself, has to make significant changes, but we don't have the luxury of getting those wrong. So you've got to be really deliberate and thoughtful about it, but you've got to move fast, and balancing that is a challenge every day.
And there's an undercurrent of ugly tenor, you're saying, a lot of times.
No doubt. Frustration.